You like dark bread? Do you ever go to a deli or a really good bakery and get a loaf of like really good dark rye or pumpernickel bread? Some people don't like it. I love it. One of my favorite sandwiches in the world is to do what's called a Rachel, which is sort of a Reuben but done with turkey breast instead on pumpernickel. It's a nice deli sandwich. Chef Daniel, Old Bill Snuff, has come up with something he's calling pumpernickel toast. Pumpernickel. You know, I took my first pinch of snuff in 1976, and back then, even 10 years ago, even 3 years ago, if you had told me that I would be sniffing a toasted pumpernickel bread scented snuff, I would have laughed at you and asked you what you'd been smoking. But I tell you what, real deal Holyfield. Pumpernickel bread, man. I might as well be in the deli. We used to have this wonderful chain of delicatessens here called the Lincoln Dell. Well, there's one called the Lincoln Dell, and then there were the Brothers Delis. And I always remember what it smelled like the days that they were baking the pumpernickel, because they had one of them, I think, had a bakery attached to it. It was very good. This is pumpernickel bread, guys. It is absolutely toasted pumpernickel bread. Wow. Pumpernickel. Pumpernickel in a snuff. Grind is fairly fine. It's very silky. Not a lot of moisture, medium to a little less than medium moisture, I'm going to say. It compresses nicely in the tin with a Play-Doh sort of feel to it, but it doesn't readily pill between the thumb and forefinger. That usually indicates medium moisture. As I said, the tin note is pure pumpernickel bread. Let's see what we have when we sniff it. I had to sniff that one a little harder than I normally would. Yeah, you saw it. If you were looking, go ahead and stop the frame, get a screenshot of it. I just had a little crumb of it fall back out of my nose. A little bit hard to insufflate. And I don't know why. Yeah, it's absolutely pumpernickel bread. This takes me back to when I was a kid, and I'd be reading and hanging out or watching Tube, and I'd want a snack. And my mom always kept this cocktail. Well, they called it cocktail rye, but I suspect it was actually pumpernickel because it smells like this. And I would go grab a little piece of it, stick it in the toaster, and slather some butter on it, and that would be my snack. That's what this takes me, and the deli. And yeah, there's butter here. There's actually the taste of toasted bread. It's not just the pumpernickel, it's toasted pumpernickel. Yeah, it's a 5 out of 5, guys, but with a couple of warnings. This is a little hard to sniff, as I just said. It tends to want to come back out of your nose, which is not delicate. It is better warmed between the thumb and forefinger. Now, of course, when we handle artisan snuffs, we generally want to use a clean spoon rather than our fingertips, simply because we don't want to introduce mold or fungal spores into the snuff. Most artisan snuffs, and I suspect Daniel's as well, they don't heat pasteurize them, because if you did that, it would wreck the aromas of the snuff. And they don't use ammonia treatments either for the same reason. So you do have to handle these a little more carefully. But even so, it's a pleasure to run barefoot through this with your fingertips, and it does benefit from the warming between thumb and forefinger. I think the best way of taking this definitely is the pinch method, although a boxcar or anatomical snuff box would be fine as well. The other caveat I have with this is back drip is profuse, and it's kind of nasty. Some of these snuffs, because they have such intense aromas, such intense flavors, if you will, they really stimulate mucus production along the whole length of your nasal cavity. And as a result, you're going to get some mucus being produced towards the back, which is immediately going to drip. If you've sniffed it even a little bit too high, you're going to get some fairly nasty drain. And that's the only unfortunate thing about this, that and that you have to kind of sniff it hard to keep it up in the nose. But if you love the scent of kosher bakery pumpernickel bread, and I am not saying this snuff is kosher. As far as I know, it is not. But if you love the scent of kosher pumpernickel bread, toasted just right, and then slathered with fresh creamery butter, this is your boy right here. From Old Mill, Pumpernickel Toast, a solid 5 out of 5. I'm hoping everyone is having a great holiday. Did you get everything done for? Do you celebrate Christmas? Yeah, we celebrate Christmas here. We got a little tiny, 1 meter tall tree in the front window with very many lights on it, and a couple of boxes and packages around, listening to Christmas carols both through internet streaming and from local radio stations. And today is Mrs. Squinty's birthday. She's a Christmas Eve baby, so we got that going on today. But I wanted to get this snuff review to you because I'm trying to finish a bunch of these by the end of the year so we can start fresh in 2015. Thank you for watching. And I hope you have yourself a merry little Christmas and a happy 2015. And for those of you who do not celebrate Christmas, you get my best wishes anyway. Have a great time. Bye.